Welcome to Sopranos Blueprint. Today's video is going to be about FBI agent Deborah Ciccerone, aka Danielle Ciccolela from Whippany.
Played by Lola Glaudini, she was in a total of 7 episodes, with the first being Army of One, the season 3 finale, and her last being a regular around the margins, season 5, episode 5. And just a reminder, if you hear the names Danielle or Deborah, I'm talking about the same person. But first, we had Fairuza Balk, before being replaced by Lola Glaudini. She was present in the original airing of Army of One, but then was swapped out for Lola for all versions moving forward. I actually first saw her in Criminal Minds, so that was how I knew her.
No thanks, I'm gonna stick with the champagne.
She was a bit turned off by Blow after a bad experience.
When they say cut, walks over to me, and he comes over and he goes, "Who the f*** do you think you are?"
So we're at the end of season 3. What's the state of play as it relates to the FBI's ongoing investigation into Tony Soprano and organized crime in North Jersey? Well, 16 Bompensero compost at the end of season 2, as we know. Junior has beaten cancer, and the government's going to have to put him on trial. They still don't have what they need to indict Tony Soprano under the RICO Act. So, what to do? Perhaps they'll throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And the first piece is a lovely little thing called Adriana La Cerva. Deborah, you're up.
This great little black...
How would you like a new best friend for the next 9-10 months?
We first meet her in the season 3 finale, Army of One. I'm not sure exactly how she was able to track Adriana down to that specific store in the mall at that specific moment in time, but I don't really think those details are too important in the grand scheme of things. But what's next? They decided to go sit with a Starbucks together.
What Fox? Whatever, the coffee shop.
And the rest was history.
It doesn't take Aid very long to start yapping like 6 barbers, funerals, murder. In their very first conversation, she's essentially already revealed the existence of this thing of ours by mentioning Tony as Christopher's boss. Not too hard to put 2 and 2 together.
As we know, their undercover operation doesn't last the full 9 to 10 months, which is interesting because that's actually approximately the term of a full pregnancy, and we know that they talk about pregnancy more like half of that time period. But for those 4 months, she goes full speed ahead, big hair and all.
We meet the rest of Danielle's household, including her husband and baby, in the beginning of season 4.
Let me have her call you back. Deb, it was your mom.
And we also know that her mother's in the picture because we hear her mother calling her in the morning while Danielle gets ready for work. This reminds me a little bit of Adriana's relationship with her mother, Liz La Cerva, who we know calls Adriana quite a lot.
Tony and Danielle are officially introduced, and Tony invites them to sit and join everyone. Sometimes I'll ask myself, why didn't Danielle try and take that opportunity? But the fact is, Tony and the guys didn't talk business at the dinner table with their wives, fiancés, girlfriends, Gumars.
I was stationed in Nova Scotia.
Which is one reason why using Adriana as an asset was not going to get them Tony Soprano on tape, talking about criminal activity. I can't really blame
Brown Vic.
These things can work 2 ways, Skip.
You can find yourself getting too close.
Same with you, Deborah.
At the beginning of season 4, episode 2, there's this great transition from Danielle in her robe holding the baby, so it's more like pure Deborah here. And then she hands off the baby to her husband, goes into the bathroom, and quickly transforms into Danielle, just in time to pick up the phone and speak with Adriana about making plans. Later on in this episode, Adriana reveals to Danielle that it may be harder for her to have children. Danielle tells her that everything will be fine, and she goes as far as to tell Adriana that she knows a great OBGYN in the city that her sister used that she can refer Adriana to when the time comes.
Now, I wonder if when Danielle says her sister, she actually means her sister, or if that was something that she went through herself when she was trying to get pregnant. In this case, there'd be a good reason for Danielle not saying it because she told Adriana that she doesn't have any kids. So
this is the first time that Adriana has told anybody about this, and Adriana realizes she's stuck working with the FBI. Danielle pulls a fast one on her and says goodbye.
I'm gonna get back. You're gonna be working with Agent Sanseverino here.
Leaving Adriana feeling even more confused and lost.
Little creatures. Good luck with that.
Talk about kicking somebody while they're down.
With all your intelligence, you never see the big picture.
Christopher was no fool. He knew something was up with that broad. Good thing we had him looking out for Adriana. Continue to try to feel her up. I mean, it would have been awkward kind of getting up abruptly, but perhaps less awkward than what actually unfolded.
What we have is stronger than any of that shit.
I think it's fair to say that justice wasn't served here in the end, and Deborah didn't seem to be too pleased either. I get that she's frustrated, but at the same time, I mean, we do have to give her credit. She did get into Aid's inner circle pretty quickly, which wasn't very difficult at the time, considering that Aid wasn't really around anyone much.
You know, and me.
If we think about how Adriana was treated by Deborah, Danielle, Agent Harris, Chief Cubitoso, and Agent Sanseverino, I felt it was pretty symbolic when Chief Cubitoso says, "Get the wastebasket," after Adriana throws up. Just like how when it ended, it was like, all right, on to the next one. Agent Sanseverino, well, she didn't have quite as much tact as Danielle, and I don't think she would have done a very good job going undercover. She was pretty nasty to Eugene, too, and we saw where that led, but anyway, that's for another day.
You know what the problem is, right? She gave Moltisanti a hard-on.
After things fall apart with going undercover and that assignment's over, Agent Harris says she gave Moltisanti a hard-on. Chief Cubitoso says,
You know, I had a dream about her the other night.
To me, that's another reminder that these FBI agents are far from saints themselves, which we see in various examples throughout the show. Finally, what do you think of this FBI agent?
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to hear from you as always. Remember, if you enjoyed it, to like, comment, and subscribe to Sopranos Blueprint.